All right, peace, Ali. And let me get a second, get a confirmation. If you can hear me and see me fine, press 9 in the chat box if you can see me and hear me fine. And after I get confirmation, we'll go ahead and get it in. While I'm waiting for a confirmation, just remember to put question or question mark before your question. Therefore, I know that you do have a question. Thanks for the confirmation. We good. What up, Brittany and Miss Naughty, Nikita? Welcome, everybody. I don't need any more confirmation. Real quick, just a couple announcements before we begin. Like I said, put question or question mark before your question. The way I like to do Q&A, I like strictly questions. Any accolades, thank yous, and all that stuff. I'm assuming if you're here, you appreciate my work, so you don't have to keep putting thank you and appreciate your work and all that stuff or whatever. Just straight questions. I don't really need comments and all that stuff. For the most part, nowadays, because of my quote unquote popularity or whatever, I get a lot of questions, man. And that's why I take time on my day to do these Q&As. So if you go to my YouTube and put comments with questions, more than likely I'm not going to answer it. If you email me, I'm more than likely I'm not going to be able to get to it. Facebook Messenger, I don't even go in Facebook Messenger. This is the best way to get feedback from me for free. But if you're an Accelerator member, spiritualaccelerator.com, we have a Q&A once a month. I'm in there every day. So other than my program, I'm really not out here answering questions. Wish I could, but I do not have enough time to do that. Therefore, take advantage of the opportunity when I go live on YouTube or whatever. Also, everything I do for free is obviously sponsored by our online store, l9shop.com. Every month we have a special. This month is 15% off. Just put 15OFF at checkout. The discount code is 15 off. So 15% off that ends at the end of the month. Then we'll have another special. Last month, we gave away a free smudge, and mad people took advantage of that. So thank you to everyone for supporting us. All right, let's get into the questions. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Peace, everyone. Delisha, Tamika, Nikki B, Conscious Ether, Charlotte, Willow, Rachel, the Untouchable Kid, Robin, Corella. Now we're in the building. So let's get it in. Mad people. So let's go. Oh, Asha, I do have one answer. And it's the same answer for a question I'm getting almost probably damn near every day. What to do with ancestor money, Ash, and what to do with old offerings. What to do with ancestor money, Ash, and what to do with your old offerings. It's the same answer for both. You ready? Throw it away. Ancestor money, Ash, after you finish burning it, throw it away. Your old offering, after you replace it with a new offering, just discard or throw away the old offering. Now, if your spirit is moving you to do ritualize it and do all kinds of extra stuff, then follow your spirit. If you're following another personality or teacher out here and they're recommending you do something with it, if you respect them, then do what they're recommended. For me, for the most part, since I've been doing altar work, ancestor money ash, I just throw it away. The old offering, I put a new one up and I throw the old one away. It's very simple. But if that's too simple for you, then make a ritual out of it. If you notice everything I teach, I'm not here to say you need to do this because I did it and it works. All I'm doing is sharing the things that have helped me. And if you want to try it out, then try it out. But I'm not here to create a dictatorship or following, want people going around calling me all these highfalutin names. I'm just putting out information. If it resonates with you, then apply it. But the whole thing is, I'm here to help you become your own master. I don't want to be someone that sit here and dictate and tell you what to do. I'm just an example, like many other people should take the role of just being an example. So this stuff is very simple. Old stuff, throw it away, replace it with the new. Okay. I'm still getting a lot of comments. It's hard to go through this thing. I appreciate the comments, but it's hard to go through this thing. Okay. Question: what does getting your hand in Ifa mean? Usually when people say that, they're talking about becoming more so going through a ritual in order to connect with the Orishas. Um, if that's on your spirit that you need to go through an initiation, I never discourage anyone from following their heart. But from my standpoint and from my experience, you do not have to go through a ritual. You don't have to get initiated to worship or connect with the orishas. So when somebody say putting their hand in E5, more than likely they're talking about getting initiated. Should I study 1 year in a day before I start to practice magic? You study for however long you need. The whole thing about study, information, research is just to convince your ego or your conscious mind that what you're studying is real. So let me give an example. Magic is something that's mystical, it's esoteric, it's not readily available. More than likely, you're not going to be able to go to friends and family, ask them to share experiences from magic. So you want to study magic in order to fill your consciousness with enough information to appease your ego to let you know that it's real. Once you study something and you have enough information, you know that it's quote unquote real, then you want to apply such information. So, yes, study. I can't tell you to study for a year. Something with magic, depending on what branch of magic you're doing. Like, say, for instance, if you're doing candle magic, I don't believe you have to study candle magic for a year before you can get it popping. You feel me? But if it's in your spirit, you need to follow for a study for a year, then study it for a year. But I don't think you need to do that. Absolutely not. Excuse me. Hey, what's up, Coach V? Miss Vaughn. Hey, yo, definitely check out her YouTube channel, V Mitchell. Good people. Your white email was on point. I'm experiencing. All right, appreciate that. How do you know it's deity put on your altar? Deity Linkage Manual, my #1 selling book. I think it's number 2 or 3 on Amazon right now. It's always in the top 5 bestsellers. If you ask me anything about a deity and altars, I'm always going to recommend my book. Even if somebody else wrote it, I would recommend it. So, Deity Linkage Manual, you can find it on Amazon or l9shop.com. That's why I recommend. Other than that, I have videos talking about how to find deities to work with. Also, the book Encyclopedia of Spirits is a great book to get. So, yeah, I'll be repeat myself a lot if I go through that. And a lot of people here have been following me for a while, so I don't want to just repeat myself. Um, I feel like I hit a plateau on my spiritual journey. Like I feel as if my connections are severed or something. Any ideals? I made a video entitled "How to Overcome Spiritual Plateaus." Spiritual plateaus. What I recommend is you want to continue doing your practices. So, say that you're meditating and doing altar work. You want to continue to do meditation or altar work. Another thing, too, is you want to find out why you're in a particular situation. If you're on my email list, if you're a subscriber to my email list, I just put out an email today called Why. Why is one of the best questions that you can ask. So, using yourself as an example, ask yourself, why am I experiencing this? Let's say you hit a wall. Why am I experiencing hitting a wall? Well, it's because that I'm going through the spiritual awakening. Why am I going through this spiritual awakening? Because I stepped up my practice and I want to really grow spiritually. Why do I want to grow spiritually? Because I understand I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, and I want to cultivate my soul. So the answer to your question of why you're going through this is because you want to cultivate your soul. A lot of times that when we put a definition on why we're doing something, it makes it so we're not doing things in vain. So a lot of people are going through what you call the proverbial wall or the dark night of the soul. We're going through a lot of challenges based on our spiritual practices. And like I said in my last video about why everything that someone's going to experience on the path, a guarantee on the path is you're going to have some sort of resistance and obstacles. How you react to that resistance and obstacles is going to help you determine where you're going. So, simply put, you have to continue pushing on. You may have to tweak things a little bit. You may have to dial things down a little bit. But what I always recommend is continue on your path and realize why are you going through certain things. Like I said, once you know why, then more than likely you'll be able to overcome it or whatever. So just stay focused, man. To surround yourself with people who are like-minded as well. All right, shout out to everybody. We over 100 people. Definitely appreciate everybody for coming through. How did I get started on my spiritual journey? I actually answered that question on the last webcast. To quickly say it again, my oldest son has what's called atopic dermatitis. It's commonly known as eczema. Um, After a bad trip to the doctor, I did some research, found out that eczema was tied with the blood. The blood is has too much mucus in it. Mucus is formed by acidic forming foods. So putting that all together, what I did was switch the diet. We started watching what we eat. Over a course, I want to say about 6 months or so, all the patches on the skin started to melt away. No medicine, no steroids, nothing, just a change of diet started to melt away the itchy patches on my oldest son's skin. So what that taught me was that everything that we've been taught, education, the media, and church, not to say that everything was a lie. I'm just saying that it wasn't taught fully. And seeing how a small change of diet can eradicate a disease that someone's born with really opened my eyes up. So from there, I started studying comparative religions, started studying the history of slavery, and started studying conspiracies. That's how I got started on my path. I studied conspiracies hard body for, I want to say, the first year or so on my path. After researching all the conspiracies, started after finding out all the information of FEMA camps and all this crazy stuff, one day the spirit clearly told me, Ali, you can keep researching all the things that the government, the white man, all these things are putting out, or you can start applying these things to your life and changing your life for the better. I chose the latter, started applying meditation, magic, all kinds of different things. My life improved. I started sharing it on YouTube, video. Fast forward, that's where we are now. Oh, I'm glad you finally caught me live too, Siobhan. Appreciate that. All right. Hey, what up, Jazz? Jazz, the medium. Definitely check out her YouTube as well. That's my people. Yo, my bad. It's mad question. I'm telling you now, I might not be able to get through all of these, but I'm gonna come back. Okay, Ali, you on Blog Talk with a man from Gnosis Matters website, and he spoke about a talisman. I went to his website, but it appears to be down. What is his contact info? That is Magus Richard Bullard, and I do believe his website is not up anymore, but you can find him on Facebook. Richard, spelled regular, then Bullard, Bullard, Bullard. Okay, question. Using your deity linkage manual, I found out that my friend and I have the same exact numbers except for the expression number. Does that reveal anything about our relationship? It more than likely it means that you're going to have a lot of things in common. Whenever you have planetary alignments that are similar to someone else, whenever you have a numerology alignments that's similar to someone else, whenever you have a name that's similar to someone else, you're just going to share a lot of commonalities. But if you look at it, no two people are identical. Even identical twins have a difference. So it just means you're gonna have a lot of similarity, a lot of similar interests. I wouldn't look at it way beyond that. Obviously, you're gonna have a lot of past life connections, but here's the thing: anyone that you share in a life with now, either casual, platonic, romantic, more than likely you had previous lives with them. So it's very hard to meet new people in Earth, incarnated thousands and thousands upon thousands of times. Sorry for my voice too, yo. All right, that's a comment. Just looking for questions, y'all. Can I put an altar up and put it up every night because I don't have space where other people won't be? I recommend just putting up a smaller altar. If you have to put up an altar and take it down, you got to do what you got to do. You feel me? But I recommend just putting a small altar up. On l9shop.com, we even have small altar tables. I found a nice wholesale deal on 12-inch altar tables. That'd be perfect for a small altar. Other than that, just get a small table or get a bookshelf, dedicate a space to it or whatever, but just kind of make it smaller. Also, you can put floating shelves up. If you don't have a lot of real estate on the ground, you can go to the wall, get one of them joints from IKEA, them floating shelves, and put your altar up on the wall. Okay, question. In one of your videos, use it to test if your ancestor altar is working. Place an apple in there, and it should take a while before it starts to get old. Instead of an apple, or you use a mango. You can use any fruit. Just what I recommend is just put the say you put a mango on your altar, then put a mango somewhere else so you can see if the mango lasted longer on the altar. But apologies. Uh, Essentially, you can place any two items to get a test. As long as the items decay, so most fruit, vegetables, food, and even flowers. So anything you can test your altar with. Just remember, put one on your altar and place one somewhere else. Question. I like to meditate in a quiet place. It's hard in a house that's noise on a regular. What do you suggest? Use headphones. Wear headphones and either play nature sounds, isochronic tones, meditative tones, so solfeggio harmonics, or just anything that relaxes you. So put headphones on to drown out the noise that's going out. Can I interpret dreams? Very much so. It's one of my easiest gifts. Like I said, if it got ripe really fast, it depends. If it got ripe quicker than the other one, then your altar may not have enough power right now. But just remember, just because your altar doesn't have enough power now doesn't mean in the future it isn't. What I always recommend is make sure you give an offering every day or at least on a regular basis, and just talk to your altar, what we call praying or prayer, words spoken. So just do your altar work every day. I assure you it will build up enough power. Does it time of the day you burn ancestor money? Absolutely not. Peace, Cornelia. How do I connect with my past life? Probably the easiest way is in a dream. Yes, you can use chicken feet for protection, for sure. Put it like this, y'all. There's many example of protective talismans. I'm actually preparing a talisman for someone now, a protective talisman. But there's many ways of creating protective talismans and amulets. Chicken feet are one of the more popular, easy ways of doing so. So yes. What is the purpose of the tongues? I don't get that question. I need to relocate my altar to my bedroom due to house guests. How can I set up a temporary altar or portable altar? The same way you set up a permanent altar. While burning ancestor money, what do you suggest I say? This is for all my ancestors, both known and unknown. That's it. Also, you can write their names on the back. How do I know what when an ancestor has reincarnated? For the most part, most souls will reincarnate. Let's do a safe number because some souls can reincarnate quickly. And that's where you start to see people have mental disorder, physical ailments, and stuff like that. If you reincarnate or incarnate again too quick, it can have a major blow on your physical or mental state. A lot of people born with illnesses and stuff like that, usually they incarnated too quick. But for the most part, a soul will incarnate, let's say within 10 years. That's a safe number to say. Excuse me. So say you had ancestors that have transitioned prior to 10 years or longer than 10 years and you feel like they have incarnated again. For the most part, even if they've incarnated before or since you placed them on an altar, they're still part of their soul, actually a greater soul that is still caught in the spiritual world. So even if they've incarnated, there's still parts of them that are in the spirit world. Just like right now, you're on Earth, you're in 3D Earth or whatever. Your whole soul is not on Earth. Most of your soul is still in the ethers, other dimensions. It's not here. If all your soul is here, your body wouldn't be able to support it. That's where you've heard people have what's called spontaneous combustions. That's when your Kundalini energy rises uncontrollably and it over circuits your hardware, your body, and you explode. That would happen if all your soul came into your body couldn't support your soul. So no one person on earth right now is walking around with all their soul in their body. So if an ancestor incarnated, there's still a part of their soul that's in the astral or the ethers. Yo, remember to like the video, yo. Thumbs up the video. It's the only time I really say is on my live joints. Make sure to thumbs up the video. All right. I've been throwing out my offerings. A recent reading, when I throw out the water, weak is my grandmother who is healing me. Now I pour the water into the plant and put the food outside in nature. I don't see the question there. Does it matter where I put my altar in my room? If you want to use something from feng shui, you can put it in the far left corner of your room. Just look up prosperity corner in feng shui, and that's the far left corner of your room. So if you want to place it somewhere, place it there. Other than that, place it on the east side of the wall. So get a compass, find out where the east is, and put it in the east. The east is the side for light. That's a good place to put the altar. Other than that, you can put it out anywhere, yo. I don't recommend rituals during eclipses based on information from Dr. Gibson. Come on, V. You know I'm gonna shout y'all. You my people, man. You cool. And you in the O. Shout out to everybody from Ohio. That's where I'm at. Middletown, Ohio, to be exact, about 20 minutes outside of Natty. Okay, I moved to another state, have not been able to set my altar up and restart my practice. I'm still not settled in. What do you suggest I do in the meantime? Just put your altar up as soon as possible. Thanks for the compliments, y'all. Just looking for questions, though. Looking for questions. Do I need to wear white while my altar? Absolutely not. If I gave an offering after this webcast, I'll wear exactly what I have on, t-shirt. Once again, y'all, I don't know. To be honest, because I don't look on YouTube for information like that, I don't know who's sharing this information about the altar. I really don't. But I keep getting people asking me about wearing white and not being able to give an offer on your menstrual cycle. Like, if that's who you abide by, if that's who you follow, if that's who you respect, then follow those suggestions. But I don't abide by those rules. Once again, I am a freestyle spiritualist, meaning I follow no man, I follow no set tradition, I follow nothing but my higher self and my spirit. So if it's something that is in my heart to do, that's what I do. If something that's not in my heart, then I don't do it. But for the most part, everything done with spirituality, there's many ways of doing it. So I'm not going to say stop, but I highly recommend that you stop letting people what you can and cannot do. It's the same as religion. You came into spirituality to get out of a religious mindset, I would think. Any deity suggestions on schizophrenia, any deity that deals with the mind, any deity that deals with the mind, M-I-N-D, or the brain, any deities that deal with the mind or brain, or any deity that deals with diseases as well. Yes, they absorb the alcohol on your altar. Here's the thing, though. Any liquid you place on your altar, if you place liquid anywhere, it's going to dissolve. So a lot of people are fascinated about how the water dissolves on the altar. Once again, if you place water anywhere, it's going to dissolve. That's not a supernatural phenomenon, if you would. New follower, where do I start? You start where your spirit leads you. There's much information, many just to study, but you want to just start where your spirit leads you. If it's crystals, do that. Meditation, do that. And just read books, get a couple books, 2 or 3 books, so you can compare them. For the most part, any book on any subject is going to say about the same thing. So get about 3 books so you can compare the information. Also watch videos on YouTube. But if you're just starting out, you're in the information phase. So gather information. Once you feel like you have enough information, apply the information. What I see most people do is study, 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 and never apply the information. So, in order to avoid a trap that most newbies get into, study what you need to learn and then apply it. And this is very simple. But what should you study? That's a question that's personal to you. Obviously, during consultations, I help people with that. But for the sake of general information, I can't recommend one area of study, even though I'm more partial towards chakras, universal laws. Very good place to start studying. Chakras, universal laws. um, if you want to work with a Lega, how should you start to open a door with him? Place on an altar and start giving offerings. If you're not comfortable with that, then just get a book or just look on YouTube about other people's experiencing with that deity or any deity. But my suggestion for anytime you want to work with a deity, I'm always going to recommend you just start. Read her mythos, of course. Read the stories, read the mythologies. But in order to know if it's going to work with you or work for you or it's going to be a good mesh, you're not going to know until you actually put up the altar and dedicate space to it. Let me use a mundane example. How am I going to know? Say I'm single and I'm looking to mingle. How am I going to know if a lady is the right fit for me without me going out on a date with her? How am I going to know we're going to get along without us moving in together, spending time with each other? You don't know until you put yourself in a predicament, in a situation to find out. So, in order to find out if a deity will work with you, you have to work with that deity. Hate to give you a simple answer, but a lot of these things are commonsensical, yo. Hey, what up, Jay Webb? Shout out to my brother Pickett. Check out his videos as well. That's my people. Do you have any books or videos or spiritual meaning to dreams? Author that I'll recommend. Oh man, please don't do this. I would forget the name. The book is entitled. One of his books is entitled "The History of Dreams." His name eludes me. He's an Australian dude. And the reason I love this author, he's a teacher. The reason I love this teacher is because he's Australian, like I mentioned, but he pays homage to the indigenous there. He said that a lot of his dream techniques he learned from the indigenous, the Aboriginals in Australia. So he's one of those people that pay homage to who he got his information from. I highly respect that. But the book is called History of Dreams. His name eludes me. If somebody could type that in the chat, I appreciate it. Any books by him is on point. Dang, what's dude's name? Yeah, that name it really eludes me, but I promise his books are on point. Also, if he still does, he has workshops, but he's big on the drumming, the circle. He takes a shamanistic approach to dreaming. And not trying to be funny, it's not too many Europeans that really take that approach. Because you're talking about indigenous cultures who really look at dreams as more holistic. If you notice nowadays, modern scientists, modern physicians will make it like just random subconscious chattering or whatever. The dude I'm speaking about, the author of History of Dreams, he takes way more of a holistic approach to dreams. So definitely check him out. How do I consult with me on dreams? SILeMyers.com. Click on one-on-one. That's how you get any consultations. Uh, do ancestors continue to evolve after they cross over? Good question. Yes. The soul is always evolving. The soul is always evolving. So simple answer to your question is yes. Any suggestions for a family with schizophrenia? First, that's a very, very deep question. Very deep question, and I'm not even going to. For me to answer that, it'll take a little bit of while. So I don't want to leave you with nothing. I'm just gonna give you insight. That's what I'm being led to. I'm gonna give you insight. Schizophrenia, the so-called disease of schizophrenia, is similar to being very psychic or being very intuitive. Psychics see things that other people don't see. They hear things that other people don't hear. Same thing as a schizophrenic. People that's diagnosed with schizophrenia, I'm very familiar with that disorder. I have an aunt who has clinical schizophrenia. Anybody that knows anyone with schizophrenia, they see things and they hear things that most people don't see. So what I'm sitting here telling you is, schizophrenia wasn't so severe, then they would just be considered highly intuitive and highly psychic. The reason why they're schizophrenic is because they know they see what they see, but they can't differentiate between this reality and that reality. So they end up appearing crazy. So just know that they're not really crazy per se. Their third eye is just more active than most people's. So schizophrenia, like most diseases, has a spiritual condition and a physical condition. So the spiritual condition, schizophrenia is more than likely that person was very psychic, very intuitive in a past life. Another thing with families with schizophrenia is rampant, you also see a lot of highly developed spiritual people in there as well. In my family, I'm not the only black sheep. I have very intuitive, very highly metaphysical and spiritual family members, but schizophrenia runs in my family as well. So it's kind of like tomato, tomato. If you can't live with something, that's when it becomes a problem. There are psychic or and intuitives who have a hard time sleeping at night. But if they were more psychic and intuitive, they might be considered schizophrenic. Y'all, I'm losing my voice quickly, y'all. Um, is there a way to know how to identify a spirit guide in my dream? Usually, spirit guides will be leading you. I mean, I hate to say it like that. They usually be guiding you or leading you. You can also ask, "What's your name? What's your purpose?" We a lot of times we're too scared to ask. If you're in a dream, especially if you're conscious or aware in your dream, just ask, "Where are you taking me? What's your purpose? What's your business with me? What's your name?" You know, whenever I have a new energy that comes into my whenever I'm doing any kind of work and I have a new being, new spiritual being is what I'm speaking of. Sorry if you don't believe in this. This part's not for you. But whenever I have a being come into my energy, I always ask for a name. What's your name? You know, then you want to know, where are you from? What's your talent? What's your specialty? Why are you here? It's put it like this. If somebody come to your door right now, knock on the door, you want to open the door and you'll be like, who are you? What do you want? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna ask those questions or whatever. So why won't you do that if someone comes into your dream? You can do the same thing. Who are you? What do you want? You feel me? All right. Welcome everybody. um I have purchased ancestor money on website. They someone. How do I know when all of my ancestors are completely free from all debts on every level? I can't. To be honest, I can't sit here and conclusively give you an answer to let you know for sure. But I think the better question, you kind of stated that already. I've seen that they are using the monies. That's probably a better answer. But I can't sit here and tell you how you're going to know when your whole entire ancestral bloodline is dissolving their debt. There's no really easy answer for that. Can I turn off my candle on my ancestor altar before going to work daily? Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, the wall altar. I made on the video I made how to set up an altar, small spaces, where I gave the jewel about putting your altar on the wall. Okay, I'm gonna answer a few more, y'all. A few more. Do you have to sleep in a room where you have your altar? No. In fact, a lot of people would tell you not to sleep in a room that your altar is in. But once again, I don't recommend that. If you only have a bedroom and you want to put your altar up, where you gonna place your altar? You're gonna place it in the bedroom. But once again, if you're not comfortable with that, you need to follow what you're comfortable with. What type of readings do I do and how much? I call my readings consultation. I don't call them readings. I don't. And to be honest, if you want a session with me, you want me just to talk and tell you about yourself, I recommend someone else. Don't get a reading with me. But if you have questions about your purpose, about blocks, about practices or stuff like that, then yeah, I do readings, consultations. But I can read astrology, I can read numerology, I can read your soul, which is way more important. So I call them consultation, but during my consult, obviously I do reading. I charge 99 a half an hour. All right. Are my ancestors actually drinking or absorbing a rum? They're absorbing the energy. I would recommend burning ancestor money daily or at least when you give an offering. I'll put Bacardi Gold rum in a cap and evaporate. Is that a good sign that my ancestors? If it evaporated quickly, more than likely. Any kind of dream interpretation, SILEMyers.com, click on one-on-one. Money jar, I would just look on YouTube. I've never made a money jar before. I look on my altar because when my ancestor asked for it, shall I open it and bottle? I would open it, yes. But you don't have to open it either. Or you can place one on there that's closed and have one that's open. I don't recommend burning ancestor money without an altar, but if that's what you're led to do, then do it. But me personally, I don't recommend that. I'm assuming you're saying panic attacks. When meditating and listening to binaural beats, I sometimes experience panic attacks. What's happening? Is this normal? For one thing, excuse me, whenever you're meditating, whenever you're doing any kind of spiritual work, and if you're having an ailment or particular sensations in an area, that is more than likely some sort of disruption, some sort of block there. So if you're having panic attacks, identify what part of the body you're having attacks at. Is it your head or is it your heart and chest? Then what I would do is look at the associating chakra. So if it's your chest, look at the heart. And then you want to look at what symptoms, what ailments, what type of what type of energy should I have as it relates to that. So more than likely you have some sort of blocks dealing with that particular chakra. So look at where you have your sensation or where you have your complication, then look at the associating chakra for that, then look up all the information on that chakra. So if it's the heart chakra, or you having issues dealing with love, or you having issues dealing with forgiveness, or you having issues dealing with trust, or you having issues dealing with abundance or prosperity, you want to identify where your issues are. But usually when you have pains or focuses in an area, you can relate it to a chakra. That's why I love anything dealing with the chakras. That's why that be one of your baseline studies, because everything in the world you see colors. Everything, everywhere you go, you're going to see colors. The way to learn about colors are through the chakras. That's why I recommend that. Oh man. Hey, your boy's going through it right now. I'm trying to get through this, but for some reason my throat is hurting bad. Um, can I put my altar on my dresser with everything else on it? I would recommend that you dedicate a dresser to it as opposed to having an altar slash makeup kit slash where you roll your weed up. You know what I mean? Like, I recommend you have like a dedicated space. But once again, if you have no choice, then do you, boo boo. How long does it take for a soul to be ready for communication after death? My grandmother has been gone for about 7 months. Ready for my help. Great question. And to be honest, I got my answer probably a few days ago. My grandmother, peace and blessing be upon her, on my father's side, transitioned less than a week ago. I went to the altar, did my altar work specifically for her, and I put in a petition to her because I had a couple questions. I could tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I got my answer the very next day. So if she transitioned on, let's say, Saturday, I went to my altar that Saturday, got an answer the following day. So I would say they can respond or interact with you rather quickly. And this is from my own personal experience. So if it's been 17 months, more than like, yeah, you definitely can holler at her. OH10 in the building, definitely. J Webb's in the OH. Ori Powers, I guess you in the OH too. You already know. How you know about Grippos. Shout out to my Grippo fans. I get sick before I add offerings to my ancestor altar. Is that normal? I've never heard of that before. Um, when you say get sick, are you meaning like throwing up, or you meaning getting nauseous, lightheaded? Getting sick is very general, but that is definitely not normal. Um, I wish I could hear your voice. I could probably help you a little bit better. I'm trying to see if I pick up anything. But yeah, getting sick, yeah, I wouldn't say that's normal. To answer your question, no, that's not normal. As far as anything dealing with the Vedic and Hindu, dealing with the eclipse, yeah, I don't see why that would, yeah, definitely bring positive energy. If you're doing a mantra, mudra, or something like that, that's not really a ritual per se. So if you're anything like that, any chants, positive thinking, affirmations, or anything like that, that's not what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking of when I say a ritual, I'm talking about like real magic, where you're using different elements, where you're chanting a spell or something like that. That's why I'm talking about magic. But any kind of prayers or something like that, yeah, that'd be very beneficial. Someone said that deities are too petty. Is that true? I don't know. I wouldn't use that word. No. Whenever I make offerings, I always have to meditate, or can I just give them offerings and go to bed? Yeah, you can give them offerings and go to bed. I want to say 3 lives ago, I said it shouldn't take you longer to give an offering than it does for you to eat your own meal. I don't see spending 30 minutes at the altar giving an offering when I ate my dinner in 15 minutes. That makes no sense whatsoever. But once again, if your spirit leads you to, if you're so moved so, then you can spend all day at your altar. You can meditate for 20 hours at your altar if that's what you want to do. But do you have to? No. I can give an offer in less than 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It don't take that long. All right, I'm gonna do a few more, y'all. Remember L9shop.com, EL the number 9shop.com. This month's special, 15 off your entire order. Just put in 15OFF or 15 off at checkout. If you're wanting to work with me more on an intimate basis, more closer at an affordable price, look at my flagship program, Spiritual Master Accelerator. Find out all the information at spiritualaccelerator.com. To be honest, at this point, that is the only place I am at every day. Every day I'm there answering questions, and doing things. So that's the only place I'm at every day. It's not Facebook, not YouTube, not Instagram. Spiritual Master Accelerator program, spiritualaccelerator.com. Also, if you need consults and all that stuff, SILEMyers.com, click on one-on-one. Remember to like the video, thumbs up the video, all that good stuff. Subscribe if you aren't. And shout out to everybody. I think we had 22,000 plus subscribers now. I was at 20,000 not that long ago. So appreciate everybody for rocking out. I make the claim. If I was up here talking to myself after all these years, I ain't got no subscriber, nobody's watching it, I wouldn't be on here. So with support, with people copy things for the store, with people on here on this live. We got what 130 people. Lets me know that my work's not in vain. So I really do appreciate that. All right, we got Healing Coach V. Definitely question. Oh man. I have been experiencing an overwhelming pull to be more, do more, build more in relation to my life purpose and passion of helping to heal the masses. How to do it with a 9 to 5 income? I'm assuming you're asking, how do you do that while working? Now, I hate to say this, and I'm not talking to everybody when I say this, so close your ears. You feel me? Like, but I'm not speaking to everybody. But for people that have been doing their spiritual work on the side and also have a 9 to 5, if you have really busted your butt, and I can speak for myself, when I was working my last job, it was a CDO truck driver. Drove a semi truck and made deliveries to local restaurants, mainly La Rosa's Pizzas. When I was doing that job, I was still on YouTube. I still had a business. I was still doing my spiritual business. It got to the point where I did not have any more time. It got to the point where I made as much as I could on my spiritual business, being part-time doing it. It got to a point where I had to give up my 9 to 5 secure income in order to free up more energy and therefore make more money on my spiritual business. It wasn't immediate, but it got to the point where what I'm making now doing spiritual work, my spiritual business, far exceeded what I was making doing my 9 to 5 job. So what I'm saying is not for everyone, but for some of you, you are ready to give up the security of that 9 to 5 job. What if it's $20 an hour, 30 and plus an hour, which what I was making at the time I was working? Whatever it is, it may be a point where you have to give that up in order to get more energy towards your spiritual business or your side business, whatever that is. I heard Dr. Gibson put it like this, man. Sometimes you have to make a leap of faith without a safety net. That's the position I was at. So making decent money on my spiritual business, making pretty good money on my mundane business, but I knew I didn't want to work that Monday. I knew I didn't want to drive a truck for the rest of my life. So I had to give that up, not knowing if I was going to be able to support myself, my family, and do what I had to do. And I'm going to tell you, had to dial things back, had to sacrifice things. It got worse before it got better. You feel me? But I'll leave you with this. And I can say this with every fiber of my being. I'd rather make $50,000 a year working for myself than make $150,000 a year working for someone else. That's my mindset. Not saying it's right or wrong. Not saying everyone should share goals. But that's how you know if you're a true entrepreneur, is when you rather make less working for yourself than more working for someone else. Put an ashe in the chat on that one. That's real talk. How long should offerings be on your altar? I say a day, 2 days at most. If you're giving an offering every day, then you should replace it every day. Is it okay to cover it? Yeah, if you got to cover it, then cover it. So yes, I would say it's okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I pray and I'm willing for a day where we get past is it okay to do this? Can I do this? Please, y'all, this is your path. You don't have to ask permission. You know what I mean? I got to the spot where I'm at, not sitting at a master's feet. You know what I mean? Not enrolling in classes, not getting consultations, not getting mentors. At this point, I got thousands upon thousands of people following me across the world. And I didn't follow no one like that. I'm only saying this, I'm not saying this to build my ego and be like, oh, boasting or whatever. I'm just an example. I'm no special than you. If you take the mindset, I'm a God and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do, you'll stop asking permission to do simple stuff. Certain things you may have questions. You feel me? Certain things are intricate. They're detailed. But if you're asking for simple stuff, permission, I hate to put it like that. I'm just saying you got a lot of growing to do. You know when you're growing when you have less questions. The less questions I had, the more evolved I knew I was becoming to a spot where I'm at now. If I don't know, I just don't know. You feel me? People ask me all the time, do you believe this? Do you believe that? I'm like, I don't believe too much. I either know or don't know. And if I don't know, it's because I don't have to know it right now. You feel me? So hopefully that resonates with somebody, man. And I'm not telling you not to ask any question. And that's why I don't like getting on my Indra. You feel me? I don't really like getting on my Indra too much because people misconstrue things. I'm on here to answer questions. You know what I'm saying? But rather do it like this. Because if I didn't do it like this, I'll be on YouTube answering the same questions. I'll be in my email answering the same question. I'll be on Facebook Messenger answering the same questions. So to be honest, I'd rather do it like this. Therefore, I can at least interact with the people, man. All right, I'm gonna do one more, y'all. One more. All right, my middle name was misspelled on my birth certificate. I was named after Rocky Marciano. Oh, peace to you. That's a cool name. But it's spelled Marciana, the B on birth certificate. It changes my numerology numbers a lot. Which numbers do you suggest? I suggest using the numbers on your birth certificate. No matter if there's a mistake, no matter if you change the name, your soul chose the name on the birth certificate. That's the name you go by for your numerology. I'm gonna do one more. All right, question. Can you recommend any books with the deity mythology? Encyclopedia of Spirits is what I've been recommending forever. And as far as a book on their mythologies, I don't know about a book on each deity's mythology, but if you just Google the deity, go to the Wikipedia page, they're probably going to tell you the mythology there. So I would just Google them, to be honest, and then read their backstory, read the background, read the information they have. So I would just honestly, I would just use Google. I don't know of any books. All right. All right, y'all. My voice can take no more. Make sure just to subscribe to the channel. Y'all know I do these sporadically, so I can't when it's the next one I'm gonna do. So just subscribe to the channel. I promise I'll go back and read the comments. I know I still have a lot of questions, but you have to wait till the next one. So until next time, it's been Ali. Remember, salimyers.com, l9shop.com, spiritualaccelerator.com. Thumbs up the video. See you next time. Peace.